Crisis, the G20, there's a lot going on. Do the papers have any of the answers? Nicholas Rushworth, tell us more.
Do they have any of the answers? Well, that's a good question. Insights, perhaps. Obviously, it's an unfolding, running story here, the front page of the International Herald Tribune. There you can see the headline. Greek leader cancels referendum, the body language saying it all, hands up in the air there. Now, the Tribune is saying that's a spectacular U-turn on Papandreou's part as he tries to cling to power. The paper, in its editorial, their headline, Greece on the brink, a phrase that's often in the papers this morning, argues that there are gaps in the Eurozone bailout plan. Europe's leaders, it says, should have paid attention to the distress of ordinary Greeks and less of the distress of well-heeled bankers. Now, there we can see a DLS, an image of Paul Krugman in the New York Times in his blog saying that Mario Draghi has been brought into the crisis with his decision to cut interest rates, and that Krugman says is not really anything dramatic or new there. Now, back to the International Herald Tribune, it's arguing that Angela Merkel and Nicolas Sarkozy are to blame for this, in a sense, because they have not done enough to address the distress of Greeks, and they need to take their full share of responsibility for the crisis and fix it.
Now, what about the Greek press? Because obviously, presumably, a pretty sombre mood over there this morning.
Well, what we can see in the Greek press, in Katimerini, we've been following lots of the Greek papers all this week, and this paper, an English language version, has a piece in its inside pages, An End to Uncertainty, which is really a heartfelt plea. It's by the writer Alexis Pachopoulos, and he's saying that Papandreou's grilling in Cannes was humiliating. An interim government is now on the cards, and that's the only way forward. And he says that if by Monday the certainty has not ended, then, I quote, nothing will save the Greek political system and the country from rage and chaos. Now, that same paper has a cartoon showing Papandreou on the phone, and the joke there is that, well, there's his finance minister by his side, and Papandreou is saying, oh, thanks for the congratulations. I'll do as agreed, don't worry. And his finance minister chiming in saying, who's that on the phone, Angela Merkel? And Papandreou tells him, no, it's not Merkel, it's my mum, which is sort of an insight into the credibility gap from a Greek paper.
Oh dear, absolutely. Now, talking of credibility gaps, perhaps, there are fears Italy is next in the firing line, and they're much under fire, Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. So how are the Italian papers treating him?
Well, look at this one Italian paper, Libero, and that paper is in Milan. It's a right-wing paper, and it's chiming in with the debate about Berlusconi's future. You can see the cartoon of him there with a safety belt, a sort of lifeboat belt around his middle, and he's got a half-dazed look on his face with his crown almost falling off. And the paper is asking its readers, should there be a referendum on Silvio Berlusconi? You write in and tell us, and that's part of the whole debate in the Italian press generally about Silvio Berlusconi.
OK, now there is another Italian in the picture. We mentioned him a little bit earlier as well, and he's been catching people by surprise this week. Lots
of the press are picking up on Super Mario. That's the ECB President, European Central Bank President Mario Draghi, who's weighed in with a surprise cut. The Wall Street Journal Europe is saying that you have to be thankful for small mercies, that at least that at his first press conference he was good at communicating. However, the paper concludes that he faces a series of tough questions which will need answering by December. It argues new actor, old script on that one. Now, Draghi's in the Irish press too. The Irish Times is focusing on his comment that political expectations about the bank are schizoid. That's in terms of the ability of the bank to stabilise markets through bond buying. But sticking with that theme, schizoid, look at this cartoon in the Irish Times, and it sort of reflects the dismay among leaders at the moment. There you can see the Scream, as in the Edvard Munch painting, The Scream. The cartoonist there says apologies to Edvard Munch for that G20 screaming away there.
OK, well, thank you very much indeed, Nicholas, for that quick look through the international papers this Friday. Well, still to come here on Live from Paris, there are reports that EU and IMF inspectors could be sent into Italy to make sure it carries out its austerity measures. We'll be getting all the latest on what could be rather a dramatic development in the Eurozone crisis after the break with William Edwards from our business desk. Don't go away.